All right, everybody, welcome to my first ever open mic. Just making sure everything's looking okay. I basically have to reinstall my Windows drivers, or my graphics card drivers, because they had screwed up. Because that's awesome to do 20 minutes before you go live. Here, let me turn my question mark on. There we go. There we go. Awesome. All right. Hopefully everybody's having a great night. I am. I'm loving this new camera. You can actually see things in my background now. You can see the individual amiibo, which is amazing. Which you couldn't see before. You can see the Lego. I'm digging this new camera. Welcome everybody. Joel Thompson, McSaucy, Ben Hemmen, David K. Run, jump, stomp. How's it going today, Bill? Camera quality looks great. Yeah, I think so. One thing that I like, everything's so dark right now, and I'm not quite sure why, and I'm scared to edit it. Let me see if I could edit it a little bit. It's really dark in the backgrounds, and I'm really not sure why. So let's see if I can adjust the brightness a little bit. No, that's not what I wanted to do. I think it's to do with my game, actually. Because I'm getting artifacts. That's okay. We'll leave it. I don't want to break anything. Don't want to break anything. So that's good. The Pelican, 0 games for me. David K. Matthew Cedeno. Welcome. Welcome, everybody. To lead to you. Darren Pogue. Matthew Lorenko. Hopefully I got that right. I think I have alerts set up. So if anybody does like a super chat, that should appear on the screen, I think. Wow, that is a very serious track. Big Trouble Little China, huh? All right. So, how's everybody doing tonight? What are we all playing out there? Anybody playing any Stadia? I booted up my Stadia just to have a look around to see. I won't go into my friends list, just in case. But sitting there, and that's, yeah. Let's get rid of this track. Not a fan. That was a little too intense. Red Dead Redemption 2. Cool. Still in the second Tomb Raider. I need to play those games because my Stadia is going away, right? Stadia Pro. And I want to at least play them while I have the chance to play them. So we'll see. We'll see. You're 90% done with Red Dead and the game gets amazing. I'm jealous. I want to play more. I haven't had time. So I have this game not on Stadia that I'm playing, Tokyo Mirage Sessions Sharp FE Encore. It is really, really good. So that's been what I've been looking at, along with, here, let's see if I can load that up. I know this isn't Stadia, but we'll do this real quick and then we'll jump right into the Stadia. Actually, I don't know if, let's go to studio mode. Let's change to browser view. Yeah, I thought it would do that. It would pick the wrong one. There we go. Let's get out of studio mode. So yeah, this is what I've been doing lately as well. Doing all these crazy first looks. Oops, don't want to click one. I guess I have to go into the playlist. So I started here. Where is it? The Tourist, and I've done 20 individual first looks, and that's been taking up a whole crap ton of my game time as well. So yeah, little bit of work that's keeping me away from gaming, which is a little unfortunate. I love playing games, but also love creating content. So I guess there's really nothing bad if you're creating content. So let's see, what else would I miss? Twalters 3730 playing Red Dead Redemption 2 and The Grid. Nice. Just stopped playing Rise of the Tomb Raider. 0 games for me. Nice. And Dwemer, what are your predictions for February Stadia Pro games? Oh my god, I'm terrible at this. I don't know. I really don't know. I don't think it's going to be for February, but I think like maybe March or April we're going to get Doom 2016. I have a feeling that is going to be just dropped on the service and it'll be a freebie to hype up everybody for Doom Eternal. But I don't know, man. Oh yeah, I can open up the web browser here. Let's do that. We'll go into the store. So what do we have? I can't make this any bigger. I gotta adjust this. Literally just set it up. Yeah, I saw that, Bill. I'm gonna get to that right away. Let's see. Let's go to all games. So we'll browse the list. My browser window's a little bit shrank. So sorry about that. I think Assassin's Creed Odyssey might be one that we're gonna get eventually. Maybe next month, because I mean, it was free for everybody that did the project stream. So it would make sense that they would give that a game away. And it's old. It's selling for really low prices on a whole bunch of different platforms. So that wouldn't surprise me at all. But other than that, I mean, there's really not much here that I think would be free. Like maybe Final Fantasy, since it was on sale for, what was it on for like $20 or $15, like really cheap. That might be something. Maybe Metro as well. That was really cheap. But everything else here, I mean, I think all of the likely ones that I have seen, maybe Wolfenstein Youngblood, actually. That would be really cool. Because it is a co-op game. You can play through the whole game in co-op. And that would be a really fun one to have as a pro game, because then I could jump in here and play it. I own it on Switch, Nintendo Switch. It's pretty terrible on Nintendo Switch graphically. I would love the chance to play it on a graphical powerhouse like Stadia. So if it's Wolfenstein Youngblood, I would be 2 thumbs up. I would really love the game. I'm gonna mute it. But if you haven't played it, you're essentially twin girls. Well, you're not really twins, but you're sisters, and you're hunting Nazi and Nazi robots in the world after. I think it's both of the Wolfenstein games. So it's this would be a really fun one, just because it is co-op, and it also has in-app purchases as well. So people could give back some money with buying the gold bars to buy the. It's basically just cosmetic stuff. But this game is actually really fun, and even though I'm playing it on the Switch, I had a really good time with it. So yeah, maybe Wolfenstein Youngblood, and maybe this is the month that we only get one. I don't know. But yeah, Wolfenstein Youngblood and Assassin's Creed Odyssey would be the two that I would predict if I had to guess a couple games that are already on the store. If they're not on the store, well, who knows, right? It could be a little bit crazy for what they add. Like it could be anything. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there. All right. Before starting, we did have a super chat from Joel Thompson. Appreciate that, Joel. And top unreleased feature of Stadia that you want first. That was really loud. I got to turn that down. Oh my God, my ears just melted. I'm going to turn that down. Wow. So top unreleased feature of Stadia that you want first. So I'll send that out to the chat room as well. What is the top unreleased Stadia feature that you would want? For me, I don't know. There's so many features that I'd love to be able to utilize as a streamer. I'd love to be able to do the here's a link, join my game immediately right from Twitch, Mixer, or YouTube. That would be fantastic. I would also love the ability to upload a save game into the cloud that someone else can then download and try to compete with me. The problem with all those is they're not an unreleased Stadia feature. They're a released Stadia feature. We just don't have any games that support it. So for any new features that are coming, we're going to have to wait for any features like that. We're going to have to wait for a piece of software to come out that supports it. Otherwise, I guess an unreleased feature for me would be the ability to play a game on this guy. But this is probably not going to happen for quite some time. I would really, really love the ability to play on my iPhone and tablet and things like that, because that's my ecosystem is iOS. I have mainly Apple devices, and being able to do everything on Stadia on iOS would be fantastic. So I guess that's my two answers for the one question. Let's check the chat room. Same thing for Wolfenstein. Google Assistant for helping you when you get stuck. Yeah, be able to hold down the button and say, "Hey, how do I beat the warlord on level 3?" And for them to come up with a little YouTube video that would appear on your game. That would be fantastic as well. I would really like to see that. Easy sharing of screenshots and gameplay to Twitter, right? That, to me, that is unbelievable that it doesn't exist. The ability to just jump right in and share something. It's, I don't know. I mean, that's on the Switch. And you know how, if you know anything about Nintendo, they forget that the online reality that we all live in is a thing. They just like to pretend that online doesn't exist at all. And for them to have built-in Twitter and Facebook sharing at the Switch's launch was just unbelievable to me, that was actually a thing. I thought no way in heck would that be a thing. And then for Google to not have it is weird. I mean, you can grab your stuff with Google Takeout. You can go into Gmail and start a new message and then look at your images that way. But that is really crazy. I don't like doing that. So being able to just share it out from Chromecast or one of the Android or iOS app would be fantastic. All right. To lead to you in a selfish way, more compatible Android devices. You have an S10 or base Stadia to get a bigger potential consumer base. Yeah, that's another big one. It looks like more Android devices are coming really, really soon. They're doing those A/B tests, and more and more people are able to are able to play on their Android phone, at least for once, and then that option disappears to never come back. Hopefully that will switch over to a full-time thing. Because yeah, a lot of people would love to do that as well, play on those devices. Darren Pogue, has Google ever officially said Stadia is coming to iOS in the future? They haven't said officially that it's coming to iOS. They said they're gonna have an iOS app that is going to be for now to get in, to pair your controller and to buy games. So they said for now, so that leads me to believe that they are planning to have Stadia on iOS. I mean, why wouldn't they? They want it on every single screen that they can get access to, whether it's a Chromecast Ultra, whether it's another Android TV, whether it's an Android phone, an Android tablet, an iOS phone, an iOS tablet, a PC, a Mac, you name it, a Chromebook. They want to have everybody using their devices to play Stadia. So while it's not official, I would be really surprised if that doesn't come shortly after base. I would think that it's going to take them a while to get it out there, just because the submission process for iOS is different than Google submitting into their own Play Store. So once they get everything set and ready, then they'll be able to have it there, so you can actually buy things from within it. I'm going to open up my Stadia app right now. So if I open up Stadia and I go to store, I can buy things in the app. So that is usually what Apple is sticky about. They don't like people having things purchasable in an app that Apple isn't getting their piece of the pie. So either Apple's getting a percentage, or Google was able to work out with Apple a way to have this work. and you can buy apps, or you can buy things in it for whatever reason, whether they're paying Apple or not. And that is going to be the sticking point to get getting a game streaming on here. That's nothing. We have streaming video apps. That's easy. Those things are easy to get approved. But the purchasing of something in an app, that's more sticky. That's where Apple has problems. So since this is working, I have no doubts that the ability to purchase games and then play them right on your Apple device is going to be coming at some point. Like, it would just totally make sense. Can get rid of that track as well. Okay, let's see. Andrea. I'd love to be able to stream directly from Stadia. Yeah, that's definitely something that that would work really well. If that was a new feature, you just hit the share button or whatever. That would be fantastic. Bill is saying, but iOS doesn't support VP9. Well, iOS doesn't have built-in hardware decoding support for VP9, but that doesn't mean that Google can't put a VP9 player in an app. I have various media apps that will play MKVs, that will play AVIs, that will play things that aren't built into iOS as just by default. But developers have created software that will do that. And yeah, I'm sure adding VP9 to that would be just as easy to do. They would just have to write the software and then have it run in the iOS wrapper. Boom, boom, boom. Hey, they allowed the app on iOS? Yeah, exactly, Charles. Darren Pogue. How are people reading Borderlands 3 menus on their phones? Yeah, it's a little small. I have a 27-inch TV or a monitor right beside me, and I have had no problems. I played split screen with my son on PlayStation 4 on a 50-inch TV sitting on the couch, and yeah, it was a little small. I can't imagine doing it on this little guy. That would not work really well, I don't think. Chris 10, weird Stadia request, ability to turn off the TV with CEC just with the controller. Yeah, that's cool. That would be really cool. CEC is really useful, except when it's not. Like, you lose your remote, you can't find it, and your Apple TV goes to sleep, and then 30 seconds later your TV shuts down. That's really annoying. But the ability to talk to the microphone that's built into this to say, okay, keyword, shut off my TV, and it would shut off the TV and the Chromecast and everything like that. That would be really cool. Roman Stormborn looks great on a Mac. Yeah, it does. I've played a lot of Borderlands and some other games right on my MacBook, wired into the internet, and it plays beautifully. I love it. Yeah, so it definitely works. That would be fantastic. Hip Hop Hobby Club, headphone and mic app for better sound out of the Stadia controller. They need to do a lot more with functionality of the Stadia controller, the ability to bring up a menu and adjust your sensitivities, because my right trigger, if I just tap it, I'm not even pushing it, it will fire. If I'm in Borderlands, it'll shoot, and I'm not even pushing the button down. So the ability to set up dead zones in the controller would be really nice. And then the ability to have, if I plug in a headphone, I only want, say, chat audio to come through my headphone. I don't want game audio. Having that as an option as well would be fantastic. Just because if I'm chatting with a friend, I maybe want to have all the game audio come through my sound system, but I want chat audio to just come into my ear so that I can chat with them that way. That would be a really fantastic feature addition as well. But yeah, Darren Pogue, separate volume control for headphones. That would be nice as well. Be able to set the volume for game, for chat, for all that stuff. Similar to Xbox and PlayStation and everything. You can bring up almost like a little mixer. It's not a very good mixer, but you can adjust your game audio, you can adjust your chat audio, so you can balance it out the way you want. And I'm sure all those things will be coming in the future. It's just a matter of time for Stadia to build those things in. The way that Google does development is just they slowly start iterating and adding and iterating and adding. So I know all those things are probably on Superhero John Justice's whiteboard. It's just a matter of time until they get added into the ecosystem. All right, let's see. Somebody's going to blow out their hearing, Darren? Yeah, it can get very loud. Just like that alert that came up. Someone added me as a friend, and it hurt my ears. That would be the same if I had headphones on. Abitude just added me, so I added them back. All right, PvP Super Game, talking to people online through the mic on the Google Stadia controller. That would be, that's a feature. I think you could do that now, can't you? I'm pretty sure you can. I'm trying to think. I think I did that with Destiny early on. I got to think. I'm not really sure. Joe Mike. Hi, Lloyd. Good to see you. Well, hi, Joe. Good to read you. I guess that's what you say. I don't know. Not sure. Public open beta of a Stadia game, Night Forest. Not familiar with that one. Charles Orand. My prediction for now to March. Connect in the next few weeks. Doom 2016 stealth drops before Eternal at some point. Base launches at GDC, and that would be on or... Hey, look, my alerts work, but there's no audio. I don't know where the audio is going. Maybe that's why. I think my system... Oh, my system audio is turned way down. That's why. Thanks, Eric, for that super chat. I'll get to your question right away. So Charles Oran, my prediction for now, Doom 2016 stealth drop before Eternal. Base launches at GDC, which is on before Eternal. GDC is March 16th to 20th, and that would make a lot of sense for base to launch there. Maybe to everybody in attendance gets a little bonus. They get a base account. They can log into base with this code, and it gets them like 1 month of pro or something. And that's the soft launch of base, with it coming the next week or 2 weeks from then. That would be a really good thing for them to do. All right, $2 super chat from Eric Padden. Thank you for the super chat, Eric. Is iOS harder to work with for Google? Well, I'm not a Google engineer, so I'm not sure. But you got to think that Google owns the full entire ecosystem on Android. They own the OS, they own the store, they own all of the API. So to create something that works, they don't have to ask permission. They don't have to do weird bug hunting. If something's not working, they can go to the team which is down the road and say, hey, this isn't working. How do I do it? Or can you patch it? So to get stuff on the Android store for them is probably super simple. They probably don't submit it to the Play Store. It just becomes live on the Play Store. Where for iOS, Google has to create a developer account, which they have because they have other Google apps on the device. They have to build not in whatever development library that they're using, or development environment rather. They would have to, even though the Google Stadia app uses middleware so that it's the same essential code that's running on Android and iOS, you still have to bake that into an Xcode project, set up the right properties, all the other things you have to do, and then you have to bundle that up and send it to Apple for approval. Then it goes through the approval process, whether that is a day, a week, a month. If everything's fine, it goes live. If not, they come back with bugs and you have to fix this. Where for the Play Store, they don't have to go through any of that. They don't have to jump through any of those hoops, I would assume, since they own it. They don't really have to. So I don't think it's harder, but it might be harder from like a code, like a programming side of things. But it would be harder for them because they can't just talk to their buddy down the hallway, say, hey, can you put that binary up on Google Play, please? They have to go through a bunch of other processes that they don't control. Thanks for the super chat, Eric. That's awesome. We appreciate it greatly. Let's see what else. Matt, some of my friends don't have kids, so they don't watch their language. Separating chat audio from game audio would be nice. That is one of the main reasons I like having game audio on my TV and chat audio in my ear, because I've played things on Xbox and PlayStation where it is very salty, and I don't want to have all that saltiness on my TV. It's not so much of a problem now. My kids are a lot older. They know what people are talking about when they swear, and they also know that they can't say it in the house or big bad things will happen. But yeah, there's some things that I probably still don't want them to hear. So moving that stuff to just an earbud would be fantastic. All right, this run jump stamp. I don't know who that guy is, but as a streamer, I'd like my controller mic to let me use that, but to pump the other audio through HDMI with no headphones needed. And that's exactly my need as well. I have everything that goes from my devices into my mixer, which is right beside me. I have an HDMI splitter, or an HDMI switch rather, that has a toslink out. So what is it? Toslink is what I've always called it, but it's like a fiber connection essentially from the mixer to my switch. So all the audio comes through that. It strips it out of HDMI and it comes in that way, which makes it really handy for me to grab anything. Like I can just move a slider to change the audio and stuff like that for games, not just the music that is playing in the background. But if I'm doing voice chat, it would be nice to then take my microphone audio through an output and pump that into my my controller, and then feed that other one back into it on another channel. That would be really nice. That is a lot of work, I know. So I'm sure that will come at some point, but it's probably going to take a little bit for that to happen. But that would be really nice. David K, the ability to view all of our achievements through the Stadia menu when playing on your TV. Yes. I hate that when you go to your profile, you can only see the most recent thing that you've unlocked. I hate that. I wish it doesn't matter where you're playing Stadia, whether you're on a web browser or the Chromecast. I want the user interface to be the exact same. So I want the store to come to Chromecast. I want everything that's on the Chromecast to go to the web browser, and vice versa, so that you have one interface to Stadia. Well, plus your phone, your other interface that lives on your phone, but you'd have one main interface, and you could do all the same things on each of those interfaces. That needs to happen before base launch. I think they have to have the same experience on all their devices. I think that's pretty important, just more for troubleshooting. If your buddy asks you, hey, how do I do this? It's like, okay, are you playing on a web browser? Are you playing on your phone? Are you playing on a tablet? Are you playing on a Chromecast? Are you playing on some other Google TV device? Like, you need to have the same user interface across everything. Similar to Netflix. Way back in the day, Netflix had their smart TV app was different from their Roku app, which was different from a Mac app, which was different from the PlayStation app. They stopped doing all that, and they basically made everything one user interface. So they rolled out the Netflix app to all the devices that would support it, and it looked the same on every single device, with some little differences, of course, because of UI and things. Like for small screen, you want the UI to be a little bit different, but all the functionality was across all their devices. Google really needs to do that for it to be, I don't know, just not something that's gonna make people complain. Not another pain point for people to make YouTube videos about with really terrible thumbnails. All right, moving on. The games are just fuel to run Stadia. Yep, they are. The games are always fuel on any console, whether it's Stadia or not. JB, it would be nice if we got some YouTube music integration. Interesting. I know we talked about that. I know Bill, when he interviewed superhero John Justice, he said it would be nice for that to come. That was a big thing on Reddit, and they're like, oh, really? You'd want that? How would you want it to work? So maybe that wasn't on the roadmap, but maybe it is on the roadmap now, and that'd be great. I'm not someone that ever uses that. I have buddies that listen to Spotify constantly when they're gaming. That's never been me. If anything, I'm listening to a podcast with one of my AirPods in my ear when I play games. But I can see that there would be some people that would really want that. I love the old Mac in the back. Yeah, this little guy, one of the original Macintosh. That's a Macintosh Plus. I have a Macintosh. Where is it? It's somewhere else. The one that has the actual autographs inside. So when you take it apart, all the autographs have been etched into the inside of the case. I have a bunch of old Mac equipment from, I work at a university, so a lot of that stuff was just kicking around and they were getting rid of it. So I collected a whole pile of that. But this one here actually works. I could turn it on. I don't have a boot disk 1. My disk got corrupted, so I can't actually boot it. I need to find someone that has one and duplicate it with an old floppy drive, because it would be really nice to be able to boot that thing up and have it running something in the background maybe. Okay, you don't think Base is going to launch a GDC Terza Reactor? Because Base is for the average consumer. Yeah, I think so, but if they release it as kind of a preview for all the developers there to just show them what Stadia is, most of them probably know what it is, but hey, here, get some hands-on with a few free games, check it out, and then maybe you're going to put your games on Stadia. I think that would be a good thing for GDC. Thanks for the link, Bill, of the mixer that I use, the Go XLR. It is fantastic. I love it. All right, Gabriel, Stadia made a demo with Night Force to demonstrate multiplayer possibilities at GDC. This girl dressed in blue, see it on Stadia Dev. Okay, I'm gonna have to look at Night Force. I wasn't familiar with that. I'll have to check that one out. Darren Pogue, they're gonna need to sort a game or categorize them fairly soon. Yeah, it is kind of messy, isn't it? When you look at it, you have you have Best of Stadia, you have the pro games, you have more to discover, and then you have all games. So, yeah. When they have more games, they will obviously have more ways to categorize them. And people that have been basically figuring out, like, you can go into the... Oh, you can't see my URL where I am, but the URL is stadia.google.com/store/list/27. And if you change 27 to something else, like I'm going to change it to 24, it says best cross-platform, which is weird. That's a weird list because there's no cross-platform games right now. 22, change that, and new releases. We have nothing there. but yeah, you can do all that stuff as well just by playing around with the URL. I think there was one 14. I think it was 14. Is that right? There's another one on sale. Yeah, that's not the one. There's another one that was really weird, but I can't remember what it was or what number it was. Early access. There you go. Number 12. Early access. What's early access? Why don't we have it yet? I don't know. It's interesting. So they're obviously planning for more stuff, but yeah, it's interesting. Interesting. Oh, you linked my my HDMI switch, not the Go XLR. Yeah, that HDMI switch is fantastic. I got one 6 months ago, and then I loved it so much I recommended it to Bill so he could get a copy of that as well. It's a fantastic product. I love that it can strip the audio, which just makes mixing audio so much better. Previously, what I had to do is run the capture software on my PC and then output that audio back into it was a mess. Just having it feed in, it's been absolutely fantastic. Really, really, really good. All right. Potential webcam video chat while playing. Have your image in the top corner of the screen. Not overly intrusive, but would add another layer to gameplay. So something like this with your little image up in the corner. That would be cool. It's not really useful when you're streaming though. Like if you're streaming to have something that covers up the game, that wouldn't work. If you could have something like, let's see if I can unlock this for a second. If you had something like this, with your face there and then like chat messages, that would be okay. That's what PlayStation does. Here, I got to make it full screen. Transform, fit to screen. There we go. That's what PlayStation does. And when you're streaming a game on PlayStation, you can have that interface come up, and it's a little tough to look at a little bit, but it's useful. And if Stadia had that would be fantastic as well, if that is just one of the features down the road. Who's playing Stadia as you watch? Don't get that. Oh, that must have been for the other one. Captain Skidmarks, what's up, Lloyd? What's up, Captain Skidmarks? Welcome. Niners all day. Have you found that Google Stadia is looking better? My 1080p looks amazing. Well, oh, what do we have? We have a super chat, $2 super chat from Byron Daniel. What if 120 games includes Ubisoft? Is that good or bad? We'll get to that in a second. I'm just going to finish my thought, then I will chat about your super chat right away. Have you found that Google Stadia is looking better? My 1080p looks amazing. Yeah, when I first started playing Stadia, when I was in a hotel in Tucson on a business trip, it looked decent. And then I got home and I'm like, okay, it's going to look much better. And it looked a little bit better. It didn't look a lot better. But since then to now, that video image has gone basically to, it looks like I'm playing with a console in my house. I did that first look of Tomb Raider and Red Dead, and all of the things that would normally cause a lot of artifacting, they were gone. Like the artifacts are gone, not the things. The things were still there. But like all the mist and fog and snow and fast moving particles, normally you'd get macro blocks, the little squares that kind of appear when you're have something that's heavily compressed. All those were completely gone at 1080p. It was just unbelievable. I need to get a 4K monitor at some point because I'd love to see how good this looks in 4K. I just don't have a 4K monitor to use. I'm gonna have to replace one of these with a 4K down the road, I guess, to see what the difference is. But yeah, 1080p looks absolutely fantastic. Niners all day. All right, Byron Daniel, your super chat, $2 super chat. What if the 120 games includes Ubisoft? Is that good or bad? Yeah, Ubisoft Plus is going to be really interesting. I don't think that Ubisoft Plus, because that's going to have how many games does it have right now? I think it's like 60 games or something ridiculous. If that is half of the 120 games that's coming to Stadia, that's going to be a very bad news article on Kotaku and Polygon and all the other industry blogs saying, well, Google said there's 120 games coming, but really it's just all Ubisoft Plus stuff. Having those games, on the other hand, is going to be fantastic, absolutely fantastic. But the fact that that would take half of the known game list that is coming, that would be less than awesome. So I hope that's not the case. I hope those are in addition to. But if it is, it is. I know that the more people that play Stadia, the more they'll tell their friends, who will then hopefully get Stadia and then tell their friends. And the word of mouth will basically it'll be better than any sort of article that could be written on Kotaku or Polygon or in any of the regular newspapers as well. So hopefully they can have good word of mouth with the base launch, and then that will get rid of any sort of bad articles, even if half the games are Uplay Plus stuff. I really hope that's not going to be the case, though. All right, Stupid Wabbit. Currently, you need to use some sort of console to house the main game. When the next gen console comes out, you essentially lose all of the expansions. If you want to move to a new system, Stadia means no console, making these games future-proof, easy to move from room to room. And that's one of the reasons why I love Stadia. The fact that I can play on my phone, well, if I had an Android device, I can play on my laptop, I can play on my computer, and I can play on my TV. And provided the service stays here and doesn't disappear like a lot of other Google services, that means that Red Dead Redemption 2 that I bought on Stadia, I'll have available to me forever without having a console. I don't have to, like, say in 10 years, if Stadia still exists, I don't have to buy a new console that has backwards compatibility to play that old game. It's just going to run because it's going to run on an old version of a Stadia Blade somewhere in the cloud. At least that's my hope, and that's what the hope of Stadia, or the potential deliverable of Stadia, is going to be for us, the gamers. All right, let's see. I skipped right to the bottom, which was bad. Didn't want to do that. Run Jump Stomp making a new show screen for you now. Awesome. Thank you. I appreciate it. You linked it? You are the man. Look at you. Bill is amazing, folks. Get yourself a bill. Everybody needs a bill. I'm going to save this out. Save image as. I'm just gonna drag it to my desktop. You guys can see how the sausage is made right away. I'll do that for my web browser. Oh, To Lee to you, new member. Awesome. Welcome to the crew, To Lee to you. Welcome to Heroes. Let me grab that. Let me drop it in the place where it's supposed to be. New overlays, show screen. All right, so let's go to browser. We're going to add a new image. Show screen. And I will add it real quick, and then we'll be here. Stadiacast, new content, show screen. All right, so that's much wider. I like it. I really like it. So if I get rid of this one, I can actually make this work. I can make it work. I have the power. I need to unlock that, and then I can drag that down. I don't think I cut my head or my torso off that much, so I'm gonna have to make it a little bit bigger. Not that big though. Sorry if this is boring to you folks. I'll be done right away. There we go. Just couldn't drag and drop it as much as I wanted to. I'm gonna have to move over if that's the case. Oh, I love it. All right, so let's lock that down. We'll lock that down. We'll unlock Chrome. And then what I can do is make Chrome bigger, and that makes me happy if that's the case. Make it my normal size. There we go. Then I can just drag that up. Over here. That over there. Over there. And then we have a new scene that is usable and looks way better. Bill, you are the man. I love that you did that for me. That is fantastic. I just got to move this up just a touch. There we go. We are all set and locked, and that's going to be my new browser source. So now it looks, look how pretty it looks. It's so pretty. Bill, you rock. All right, here we go. No GPU updates yet. Stability has improved. Games may have been patched though. I think for Matt said that in the chat room. So the GPU doesn't have to change for them to make the service better. However they're making the video to send to us, it's not just a piece of hardware, it's a piece of software that's running on that hardware. So they just have to make that software better. They have to dial in their compressor to compress it down to whatever size that we need it, whatever video resolution we need it, however many frames a second we need it. So they can adjust that. And especially for the Chromecast Ultra that uses VP9, VP9 is very low latency, and it's a lot smaller than H.264. So it could look better and be a lot smaller. So that could be part of where some of this stuff is happening. They're making it work better on VP9, and then they're moving that over to their H.264 encoder. Maybe that's part of what the issue is. All right, let's go on. Thanks for all the thanks for all the thumbs up, folks. All the likes. That is really great to see. I love it. Run Jump Stomp, I need to buy another 4K monitor because there's something wrong with you. You buy more equipment than anybody else I know. I try to make my stuff work longer, and I actually bought 3 pieces of hardware in the last month. I bought my new camera, I bought a new keyboard, and I bought a new mouse because my old keyboard and mouse was starting to get old. But I need a 4K monitor, so I don't know whether I'm going to get it in the next month or so, or if I'm going to wait till the summer. But we'll see. I really want a 4K monitor, though. All right. Oh, Chris 10. One of the biggest features I want right now is save state, so I can go back to exactly where I left off, like how you suspend games on PlayStation 4 or Switch. You know, I would love that. There's a lot of games. I mean, the load up time is really quick for most of these games. But what I'd love to see is they don't even need to do save state. What they can do is game developers can basically have what gets loaded into memory at the start of their game as one big file, and then just read that into memory, so that they don't have to load the start of their game, start feeding in all of the assets, all of the various things that they need to do. It just has one big file that they load into memory. That would be absolutely fantastic. I would love to see that. Looks like I'm losing frames here. Am I getting a little bit choppy over here? I'm getting a little flashing red block on my OBS, which is weird. I usually don't have any bandwidth issues. Yeah. So there is some buffering happening. Oh, looks like it's been fixed. Don't know what that was. But I went down from 8,000 kilobits to 1,500. So it should be back now. So thanks for sticking with me. Byron Daniel, what I meant from the super chat is, what if most of them are the Ubisoft Plus? Yeah, I covered most of that. But yeah, I mean, even if it's all Ubisoft games, I mean, that's a lot of content. I just doubt it's going to be that many. Let's see. Let's go to Uplay Plus. Uplay Plus. We'll check that out. Okay, unlimited access to 100 plus games. Well, there you go. That's really close to 120. But you know what? I mean, if this happened, if Uplay Plus came to Stadia and you got Rainbow Six Siege and Division 2 and Assassin's Creed Odyssey and like all of these really awesome games, I don't think many people are going to find that a bad thing. Switch? What? Oh, it's just linking to the games. I was like, why is that in the Uplay Plus thing? That is really weird. Ubisoft Plus. Where is it? Uplay Plus. I was on it. All right, here we go. So yeah, Ghost Recon, Watchdog Legions will be coming. Like all these are really fantastic titles. And if most of them came to Stadia through Uplay Plus, and that was for right now the bulk of the 120, that wouldn't be bad. I mean, game development takes a long time, so it's going to take a long time for developers to get stuff ready if they're already not making games on Stadia. But I really hope it's not 100 of the 120 is Uplay games and the rest is all games from other developers. I really hope there's a nice mix of AAA and AA and indies and experimental games that are using all the new features of Stadia in a really interesting way. That would be fantastic. Bill gave me another version of this thing. I'm just going to drag that to the desktop. And I will drag it into here. And that'll update immediately in OBS because I love OBS so much. OBS is great. Thanks, Bill. That's great. So yeah, I get what you're saying, Byron. I hope not, but maybe if that's the case, that's the case. We'll have to live with it. All right, Rick Tone, Stadia's awesome. Every time I play, it's like I'm in the future, right? You are living in the future when you're playing on Stadia. It's an awesome future, and I love it. All right, they're gonna need to make a list for all the games you claimed. Yeah, that too. That would be a really games you own on the store would be really nice. Something to look at. Miners All Day, how do you think Google will get more people to use the platform? I don't know. I think it's one of those things that's going to happen with time. It's like, how does PlayStation get more gamers? Will they have an attractive console that is cheap? They get a lot of exclusives. They get a lot of content that people want. and people then make a value proposition like, do I want to get a PlayStation? Do I want to get an Xbox? Do I want to get a Switch? Which has the most games I want? The nice thing about Stadia is the whole buying a $300 to $500 piece of hardware, that's gone. You don't need any of those. So the value proposition is, well, I could buy, I don't know, Call of Duty 17. I can buy it on my PS5. I can buy it on my Xbox Series X, or I could just buy the game and I could play it on my PC. I could play it on my TV. I could play it with all my friends that way. I think that's where they're going to get a lot of people in the future. Is I don't need to buy a $600 piece of equipment that sits underneath my TV. I just buy the games. I'm going to buy the games anyway. I might as well buy it here, and then I can play it across all my devices. I think that will that'll be great. That'll be great. All right, let's move on. Let's keep looking. Jerome, might be me, but Stadia is working really well lately. Yeah, it has been absolutely fantastic. Joel Thompson, what was your favorite Borderlands 3 boss? There's a lot of them. The bosses were all good. I like some of the hunt mission bosses a lot, where you're basically hunting down these unique versions of these animals or creatures or people. There was one that I hunted that was a phoenix, and you had to kill it 3 times. It would keep going into an ash pile, and then it would get reborn, and you'd have to kill it 3 times. That was a hell of a lot of fun. I really liked that. And then there was some Destiny-related content as well in the game, where you're killing things that are very Destiny-like, which was a lot of fun. They were really clever with a lot of the stuff that they did in this game. They did a really good job. As for bosses, I think the second to last boss, I don't want to spoil it. I really had a lot of fun. Even the last boss was really great as well. It took me a couple tries to beat that, but yeah, the last boss was great. But the second to that, going through the main story mode was really great as well. All right, Niners all day. Any tips on getting my Chromebook to work better with Stadia? Personally, no, I don't have any tips. But if you go to the official subreddits, there are a bunch of people that have posted a bunch of different settings depending on which Chromebook you have. There's settings for PCs, there's settings for Macs, there's settings for how to make it look better on your TV through your Chromecast Ultra. So they have all that stuff collected, and just go there and read. Just because I don't have a Chromebook to really test any of that stuff, I haven't really paid too much attention. I know on PC, you have to make sure that your hardware acceleration is on. There's a lot of different steps to do it. And it's the same thing with the Chromecast. There's a bunch of different steps to do that type of stuff. Here's all the buffering talk. What do you think about Amazon's cloud gaming, Captain Skidmarks? I think it's only a matter of time before it happens. They bought Twitch. It's obviously they're big into the gaming space. We know they're working on it, and it'll probably be a feature. It'll be one of those things where they're going to be immediately competing with every game that they're selling on their service, whether you're buying a PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X code, or you're buying one that can be immediately played on Amazon's servers. Amazon is second only, I think, to Google for the amount of like data centers they have in the world. Microsoft is right up there as well. So if anybody can pull it off, I mean, it would be Microsoft, Amazon, and Google. Walmart is laughable. There's a bunch of other services that are maybe a little bit more laughable just because of the network just doesn't exist. But if Amazon does it really well, I think they could be a good competitor. And in the future, you could have the 3 big console manufacturers that aren't making consoles would be Google Stadia, Amazon Cloud, and Microsoft X Cloud. And what a weird future that would be if those are the 3 main people, the main services that are out there for game streaming. All right. Yeah, the sound stayed good, but my video buffered. I'm not really sure what that is. Maybe the kids are watching a bunch of streaming stuff, but I have like ridiculously fast internet, so must have been just a weird connection issue between me and YouTube. Jason Lesko, the game selection is killing me now. I want those 120 games now. Yeah, I can see that. it's like that for any new console. Like I can remember when the Nintendo Switch launched, I bought all these games that I didn't want just because I wanted more content, and I bought a bunch of games that I played once or twice because it was the only thing that was available there. And I've done the same thing on Stadia. Like I bought Rage 2, I bought Red Dead, I bought Shadow of the Tomb Raider, games that I wasn't gonna play immediately, but it's like, okay, add them to my library, I'll eventually get to them. For some reason, I stuck away, or I stayed away from Wolfenstein Youngblood. That's a game I've wanted right away, but I'm hopeful it will be a free one in the future, and I'll play it that way. Matt, from a Games Radar post a while back, the Uplay Plus games list currently consists of 112 titles, though new games such as Ghost Recon Breakpoint and Watch Dogs Legion will be added on release. Yeah, so the Uplay Plus is a huge service, but to get those games on Stadia, they have to port it from running on Windows or another console to run on Linux with the Vulkan framework. So there's a lot of work to get all those Uplay Plus games into Stadia. So I would say at launch, Uplay Plus for Stadia would probably be maybe 20 games, 30 games, maybe. And I could even see them maybe drop the price, the subscription, because you're not getting that much content there. That would be cool. I'd pay $10 Uplay to be able to play 20, 30 games, sub for a couple months, play the games I want, and then unsubscribe. That would be really great. To Lee, to you, what killer game or one specific game would you love to see on Stadia that may or may not be in the pipeline? Well, there's a couple. I would really love to see Minecraft on Stadia, just because I could then have all my save games and everything sitting in the cloud. I could create a server, I could connect to that server, like a realm, my Minecraft realm, but then all of the stuff that I've bought, all of my save games, everything would be sitting in the cloud waiting for me. That would be fantastic. I would love that. The other one would be Diablo 3. I love Diablo 3 so much. I've bought it on the PlayStation 3. I bought it on the PC. You can't see it, but the Collector's Edition is right behind my Switch games. I bought it on PC, PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4, and Switch. And I've played 100 hours on each of them, maybe, maybe more. I love Diablo 3. And be able to play that on Stadia would be great. Every time a new season comes on, I could jump in, go through a bunch of my characters, get a bunch of cool loot, and then jump out, waiting for the next season to come out. The season mechanic they added in is really really cool. All right, Matt, forgot to mention that we know about several games coming that are not timed exclusives. Yeah, we have the Stadia games list. So these are all the games that are coming. That's not the right link. So yeah, we got this guy. So these are all the games that we know are coming that are basically here, ready to go, ready to appear. Super Hot. That would be another free game that could happen. That would be fantastic. Super Hot is a really great game. So yeah, we know about a bunch of games that are obviously in maybe the 120 that they're promising for the rest of this year. Darren Pogue, Stadia should market for the price of a new game console on Stadia. You can own at least 6 new games. Yeah, I mean, a really good print ad, if anybody does print ads anymore, which they don't, is they have a PlayStation 5, and then they have a bunch of boxes of games, and that would be the Stadia games. So it's like, you could buy a console with no games, or you could buy a whole stack of games and play them online on whatever device you own. Something like that would be really great. The people you gave your buddy passes to wanted or wished Stadia to be a Netflix all-you-can-play style. And yeah, I mean, that's what everybody really wanted right from the start. They're basically saying, I want it to be a Netflix of gaming. And Google's never come out and said that that's what it's going to be. I mean, in the future, there might be some sort of additional fee that you would pay and get access to a collection of games. But yeah, nothing right at launch, and we don't know of anything yet that will do it. Greg Doyle with the super chat, $1 Canadian, my currency super chat. Appreciate you, Greg. That's fantastic. I realized that I didn't put my alerts on my browser. So I'm going to paste that up here because I didn't see that we got an alert because I didn't hear it. So sorry about that, Greg. You didn't see your name in lights. I'm going to paste that. And I'm going to paste that. So it's on all of the scenes right now. Perfect. So thanks for your super chat, Greg. I appreciate it. All right. Santiago. When is Stadia gonna come? When is Stadia going to new countries? We don't know. Hopefully soon. Hopefully right around base, we're gonna get a lot more. I don't know. Potential users just by launching in different countries. We've seen some interesting moves recently with Google Stadia partnering with BT to be the UK distribution for Stadia. So maybe there's going to be a bunch more kind of announcements like that, where you'll have a company that is in that country that's going to work with Google to be kind of like the store or the streaming partner, the broadband partner for that service. That would be a really great way for them to do it. The Pelican, are you going to stream Rise of the Tomb Raider? I mean, I'll stream anything if people want to watch it. I haven't been streaming a lot just because the holidays and getting into the new year with all the work that I have. But if you want to see if you guys want to watch me play a game, I'll play a game. If there's people to watch, I will do it. I just don't want to play a game that no one wants to see. That's why I asked during one of Bill's streams, I think, or maybe it was on Stadiacast. It was on Stadiacast, actually. Do people want to watch me play Red Dead? Because I'll play Red Dead and I'll stream it at hours at a time if that's what you want to watch. Just hit us up. Go to Run Jump Stop's Discord. That's the official Discord of Stadiacast. You can come to my Discord too, res.tv/Discord. Not as much activity there for Stadia because all the talk for Stadia is on the other one. And let me know. Hit me up with a PM. You can @ me at Dasme on Twitter or on Discord. Let me know when you want to watch because I'm happy to play a game and stream it if there's people there that want to watch it. Niners all day. Thanks, Lloyd. You rock. Well, thanks, Niners. You're probably really happy right now, provided you are talking about the 49ers, which is great. All right, William Millard. Good evening. I saw a comparison of Steam's launch, and it didn't hit 100 games until its 4th or 5th year. Exactly. If you look at the original Xbox, if you look at the original PlayStation, if you look at N64, then you move up each generation, even with a sequel or another model from the same hardware manufacturer, the launch games are few and far between. There's a dozen or 10 for the first few months, and then they start adding on more games. So people expecting Stadia to have 1,000 games at launch is just absolutely crazy. This isn't Steam. This isn't the Epic Game Store. Stadia isn't a game store. It's a service with games that run. It's not just a place to buy games. So it's going to take a while for the library to build up. And it's just the way that it works. Developers need to give Google things to sell. Google isn't making any of these games. They are making other games, but they're not making any of the ones that are on the service right now. Matt, I'd settle for skipping Diablo 3 and going straight to Diablo 4 on Stadia. Hey, I would love that as well. I don't know anything about Diablo 4, but I love 3 and I love 2 and I loved 1, so I'm probably going to love 4, and having that on Stadia would be great. I'd love it. All right, I skipped all the way to the bottom again, which I didn't mean to do. Brian H, you need that Super Mario Cube. Yeah, it's right up there. What I need to do is actually have a soundboard thing that I can just hit. That would be a really great thing to do. Every time something comes in, I can just hit a little button. I gotta get that sorted out, I think. Tuli to you, awesome choices. I've also invested a huge amount of hours in Diablo 3. Diablo 3 is a great game. I love it. Captain Skidmarks, I'm a PC gamer and haven't owned a console since PlayStation 2. But when Stadia came out, I haven't played my PC since. It's funny, before Stadia came out, I was just starting to get into PC gaming. I've been a Mac user for forever because my day job used to be fixing computers. and I hated Windows. I detested it because I was fixing it all day. Stupid bugs, viruses, rootkits, all that other garbage. I hated coming home and having to do tech support. So I bought Macs because you don't have to do anything with them. They just run. I have a Mac that's sitting over there that's run for essentially like 10 years. And I've done nothing with it other than update OS every once in a while. So I bought my PC to stream, and I've had PCs forever, like going all the way back to like 386s. I've had PCs for a long, long time. But running at home, I was doing Macs. But then I bought this PC to stream, and then after about a year of just using it to stream, it's like, well, those games are looking really nice. I have a good video card. And then I was starting to download games and buy games and play them. And then Stadia came out. And it's like, well, now I don't want to mess around with my PC anymore. Like, just before streaming, I had to update my video card drivers. Why? I don't understand why, but I had to. And it was a little bit annoying. So hopefully Stadia will fix everything that I need. Jason Lesko, Super Chat 199. Appreciate the channel. God save the Queen. Jason, thank you. I appreciate the $1.99 Super Chat. That is fantastic. So yeah, I hope Stadia fully replaces all the PC gaming that I was starting to do, because I'd rather not have to update my stupid video card drivers to stream, which I've never had to do before. I don't really know why that was an issue. It's so weird. All right, let's go down. William Millard. When are we expecting the next round of deals to drop? Are we expecting around Valentine's Day? Good question. I'm surprised that there aren't some deals up there right now. We've always had deals on the store. So it's probably just, there's just not enough games that want to drop their price. Hopefully we'll get that soon. Age of Bogyo? I've never owned a console. Games are just way too expensive for those, and most controller-based games are just not for me. And that's why streaming is interesting, having the chance to play games from platforms without having to invest with them. And that's a great point. I mean, Steam games are super cheap, and I don't anticipate Stadia games ever being that cheap. Stadia games are going to be the same price as console games. That's the market that they're creating here, is a console that you don't have to buy the console. But if a game comes to PlayStation and Xbox and they don't want to put it on PC, but they put it on Stadia, immediately that's a game that you have access to, even though you have to pay, pony up your $60 or wait for a price drop to play it, which is great. Later nerds, everyone stay awesome. Lloyd, keep rocking. Run jump stomp. That's a weird. I think that's that's not the real run jump stomp. That's a different run jump stomp. There's no space between run and jump. Is that like an alternate account of yours, Bill? You left, so I'm asking a question to someone that's not there. Jason Lesko, Thumper. You want to see me play Thumper? Really? All right. Matt, I would absolutely watch you guys streaming gameplay more often. I'm going to have to start doing that then. Maybe we'll do like a poll on Twitter or something on which game you'd want to watch me play. Let's switch over to my game. So these are the games that I own on Stadia right now. Why is my camera hidden? Oh no, my camera's not hidden. It was just my web browser was covering it. So Borderlands 3, well, Red Dead, of course, Borderlands 3, Rage 2, Tomb Raider, 20-year celebration, Thumper, Darksiders Genesis, Ghost Recon Breakpoint, Destiny, Tomb Raider, the Definitive Edition, Farming Simulator, Tomb Raider, the Definitive Edition again. This is Shadow of the Tomb Raider. Guilt, Samurai Showdown. The one game I will not stream is Farming Simulator, so I'm just throwing it out there. That is one that I won't stream, but all the other ones, they're all open to the world for me to stream if anybody is interested in watching me play those games. All right, Elgato Stream Deck for a soundboard. Yeah, I mean I could do that as well. I have two Stream Decks. I have a regular one and a mini. My keyboard does Stream Deck keys, like I can turn my light on and off with a key press on my keyboard, which is cool. But if I pause the music for a second, all my podcast music is on my mixer. So I have all those things there. If I just had hit another button and it was it recorded me. That's weird. That's really weird. Anyway, if I had just another button for the coin sound, that would be fantastic. Pew pew pew. All right, back in the DOS days. Yeah, I remember gaming on DOS. I remember having a separate config.ini and autoexec bats for specific games because you need a different memory. I can remember running a desk view because you had potentially more addressable memory. So I ran a windowing software that was DOS windowing software to play certain games because they perform better. I'm so glad you don't have to do that anymore. You click play on Stadia and you're playing it. Like, that's way better. That is a way better thing. Matt, gonna log off the night, but nice chatting. Nice chatting with you too, Matt. You're probably already left. Sorry I missed your message earlier. William Millard. What controllers has anyone tested? So obviously I've tested this one, and I've tested my Xbox controller. Those are the only two that I've used with Stadia on my PC. You're hoping that Borderlands goes back on sale, Ellison193. I see that will probably happen at some point, for sure. It was too good of a deal to pass up when it was on sale here. Half price for launch day. I picked it up. I couldn't not get it. William Millard. Now we're going to request it. Yeah, everybody's going to say Farming Simulator, right? That's not even going to be on the list. Stream Breakpoint or Play With You for Brian H88. Yeah, Breakpoint might have to be something. I mean, I did the first look because it's the first game that really had one of the new Stadia only features. I mean, Grid, you could have more cars on the track than any other version, but you can race on all the other versions, so it's not really a new feature. It's just a tuned feature. Having the stream view was a new feature. So I did the first look. I thought it was really cool. But yeah, I need to get more into it. Borderlands came out, and that ate up all my free time. Bernard Baker, loving the stream. Question regarding the last update. If you had to choose, would you communicate what was said to stop the silence, or wait until something more specific could have been communicated? So you're talking about the last State of Stadia in 2020 thing. Yeah, there was really nothing there other than the fact that we have 120 games coming, and we have 10 exclusives coming. Good news. It would have been nice if there was some more dates, like our next Connect is going to be blah, or the next big game drop is going to be here. That would be fantastic. But yeah, I think what they did was right, because everyone was complaining so much about how silent they've been. Hopefully this is like the last big drought, and they're really gearing up for base launch and all these other features coming with other games. Hopefully that is the thing, because I would love that. Great question. Thanks, Bernard. Chris 10, do you have a steering wheel to try with Grid? I would like to see someone try that. I do not. I had an old Xbox 360 force feedback wheel. I don't even know if you could use that on the PC. I don't think so, because it has that weird Xbox 360 connection. I don't think it's USB. If there's a way to get it working on PC, I would try it, but I don't think it's there. And if it was available, I don't think it's being supported by Grid. I don't think Grid on Stadia supports anything but controller and keyboard and mouse. I could be wrong there though. Do I have the Loot Goblin amiibo? I do not. I was not able to buy it. I don't think it ever came to Canada, to be quite honest with you. I know it was like a GameStop exclusive in the US, and I tried to order it a bunch of times and couldn't get it. I wish I had it. I love amiibo. As you can tell, I got a bunch around me. I have a bunch everywhere else that you can't see. I'll buy any amiibo that isn't from a Nintendo character. So I have a bunch of... Of course, I pushed it further into my shelving. I can't grab it. But yeah, you name it. Any of the amiibo that aren't a Nintendo property, I buy. And then all the Nintendo properties as well, which is ridiculous. But yeah, it'd be really, really great to have a Loot Goblin amiibo. I would love it. It would be fantastic. Darren Pogue, I heard that the same people who made Farming Simulator are making a new game called Box Factory. You assemble cardboard boxes in a factory. It's thrilling. I don't think that's real. I think you're trolling us. Yeah, I mean, Nothing against Farming Simulator. I know it is a high-selling game. They sell a lot of copies. It does really well for them, and people love it. Just I'm not one of those people. I'll play it. I'll play it to try it out. I still got to do that on Stadia. I think I had it on PlayStation 4. I think it was a PlayStation 4 Plus game at some point. So I mean, it's something that people love, so it can't be completely horrible. But I just, yeah, I don't have enough time to lift up my whatever I'm dragging behind me so that I could drive forward and then put it down so that I could till the ground to then go through a second time and plant seeds. That's just a lot of time. And to be fair, I used to play a huge amount of SimCity, SimCity on PC, SimCity on Super Nintendo, you name it. I loved SimCity, Sim Earth, all the sim games. I just don't have enough. I don't have enough time to play those games anymore, where you're basically playing the same game for months and months and months doing different things. So, just not for me. Doesn't mean they're not for other people. Just not for me right now. Okay, William Millard. I feel like Stadia could market game drops as mystery blocks with dates. A new game is coming 2/20. Builds the hype and has people looking out for the developer to drop a tweet or video. Yeah, that would be great. Like anything. Any communication would be good. Like having this up, this is great. But if they had a dropping first quarter, Football Manager or Get Packed or Gods and Monsters or anything, Just Dance. I don't even know how that's going to work on Stadia, to be honest with you. But anyway, if we had some sort of idea when any of these games were coming that aren't already here, that would be fantastic. And then all the other new games that are coming as well, that would be great too. I just have a feeling that we're not gonna get any of that news anytime soon, unfortunately. Gift wrapping simulator, nice. You're all Nintendo over there. Did you ever skip any Nintendo system, or do you have them all? For me, I have every Nintendo system except for Virtual Boy. I never picked up a Virtual Boy. I really wanted one, but for whatever reason didn't pick it up, and then it was discontinued, and I was like, oh, I'll get it. I'll get it cheap down the road, and it just never happened. I would love a Virtual Boy, and all the games. I would love to play them. I've never had a chance to play any of them. But that's the only Nintendo system I don't have. I don't think I have a GameCube anymore because my GameCube broke, so I don't have a working GameCube. But I pretty much have NES, Super Nintendo, N64, all working with a whole pile of games. And then, can you request for me to stream playing Just Dance? Bill won't do it. I won't do it either. Not yet. And it's not on Stadia anyway, so I don't have to worry about that yet. And then I have Game Boy, Game Boy Advance, DS, 3DS, Switch. So I have all their handhelds except for Virtual Boy. I'm a huge Nintendo fan from when I was a kid all the way up. I love Nintendo. So I have everything but Virtual Boy, to answer your question. All right, Bernard Baker, as a person who has played both Borderlands 3 and Diablo 3, what would be your advice for someone who has never played Diablo but has played Borderlands? Completely different games. Diablo is a little bit more slow and plodding. You are moving forward, kiting enemies, killing them, getting the loot, upgrading a lot. Where Borderlands, you're basically going into you're basically running into rooms with enemies that are spawning and running at you. So really different games. I find that Diablo can be even more crazy with what's going on screen than Borderlands, just because, like, if you watch some of the people that are like farming on high tiers with like a monk, for example, you can have like 50, 60, 70 enemies on the screen at once, all with AoEs going, with particles, with all sorts of stuff happening. Just Dance is on Stadia already? Is it? I'm not calling you a liar. I just thought that, oh, it is. I lied. Well, I didn't lie. I didn't really realize. How does that play on Stadia? How does it work? Game mode, single player, local multiplayer, partial gamepad support, and peripheral controllers. I don't get it. Huh. Huh. Interesting. Okay. I was wrong. It is on. I've just never looked at it. And now that I think about it, I think I did see it on sale. Anyway, back, Bernard, to your question. Diablo 3 can be slower, and it can also be way more fast-paced, where Borderlands 3 is just a first-person shooter with a hell of a lot of guns. So it's different. But for Diablo, if you're jumping into Diablo 3, pick an easy-to-use class, like pick a Demon Hunter or a Monk. It's fantastic. Those two characters, they're easy to play, they're super powerful, and then you can kind of get your legs underneath you, and then you can play some of the more tricky, or not really tricky, but ones where you're taking a lot more damage, like a warrior, like a barbarian, or what's the other class that would be really good? There's other class. The necromancer class, where you're taking a lot more damage, but you're doing a lot more damage that way as well. But yeah, play the easier ones up front. It'll make a lot of difference. Brad buys, you don't understand the purpose of Farm Simulator. It's like any other sim game. I mean, a lot of people didn't like The Sims, but it also sold a bajillion copies to people that did like it. I know my wife played The Sims all the time. She loved it. It was more like a torture room creator for me. I would make all these rooms where they're gonna start a fire. I destroyed the toilet so they can't go to the bathroom. You put them in a pool, and then you take the steps out so they can't get out. Like all those weird things. I was using it as a little sadistic thing, which I'm not that kind of person, so I don't really know why The Sims brought that out of me, but it did. But I know they sold millions and millions and millions of copies across all different platforms. So just a simulation game. Hip Hop Hobby Club, hidden cams in the controller. No, there are no cameras in the controller. There's a microphone, but it's only ever active if you're doing voice chat or using the using this button here. So yeah, don't know. Bernard, thanks for the Diablo advice. I typically play warrior in games like that, but the last Diablo I played was Diablo 1 decades ago. The looting aspect made you want to ask about the two. So yeah, Diablo 3 is different because when you're looting, you're not just looting a sword and a shield. You're looting a whole pile of different things. You have bucklers, you have gloves, you have boots, you have pants, you have tunics, you have helmets, you have rings, you have amulets. So like you're always getting loot, and the decision between, well, is this amulet better than this amulet? You're comparing two sets of numbers. It can get a little bit overwhelming. But to me, that's part of the fun. Is doing stuff like that, getting a bunch of loot and then trying to figure out which one would be best for my build. The nice thing with Diablo is they have your stats on the screen when you're doing your equipment. So if you apply something which looks like it should be better, you can see whether your attack goes up or down. And if your attack goes down, even though it looks like it should go up, don't use that piece of equipment. Go onto something else. Makes it really easy to kind of choose your build that way and choose all your equipment when you're going through. It seems so slow, Brad. Yeah, and that's exactly what Darren Polk said. They say it's relaxing. I know I have a friend, an online friend. We've been chatting for years and years and years, and that is how he de-stresses after a stressful day at work. He goes and plows fields in a video game. Meanwhile, I go into a first-person shooter or Borderlands 3. Those are the games that I play when I've had a stressful day. But to each their own. Everybody's a little bit different, and that is what he has to do to calm down after a hard day at work. All right. Brad buys. Do you ever get other players to talk to you on Destiny 2? I have my mic on, but I've never heard anyone. I think I've had. In all the times I played Diablo 2, which granted isn't a lot. I played a lot when Stadia first came out, but I haven't really touched it since. I maybe had 2 people that were talking to me, and that was like right around launch. No one had headphones or microphones in at launch, so I can't imagine that there's many people that do it now. There's probably less people that do it now than at launch. How far is the nearest Google data center in your area? Yeah, I think Montreal is the closest one, and I think there's one in like North or South Dakota. So yeah, it's not close, but those are the major data centers. They have like the edge nodes in a bunch of different areas. Excuse me. So even if you don't have like a full data center in your area, you're going to have some edge nodes, which are fast interconnects between the main data centers. So I would be surprised if there wasn't one of those in Winnipeg, but I'm not positive. I looked on their map and it was a little bit hard to follow. So it's been fast for me, so I haven't really worried too much about it. Let's see. Captain Skidmarks. Hey, Lloyd, I'm not a Mac or iOS guy, but when do you think playing games on iOS devices will come? I feel like it'll be a long time. Yeah, we talked about that one earlier. I hope that it's going to come close to base launching, because that is a huge user base that would want to jump in and play the games. I mean, the hard part is already done. Buying stuff on iOS. If you've made the deal to allow a store to exist inside of an app in an Apple ecosystem that you aren't feeding money back to Apple, you've done the hard work. That is the hard work. Google did the hard work already. Now it's just making a VP9 receiver, a playback device, and then having the app be able to talk to the data center while your controller's talking to the data center, or using the built-in controller support that's in iOS now, and have that work with the iOS app to then control the games. So yeah, it would be that would be really great to see iOS come really soon. But yeah, it would be probably something that's going to take a lot longer. Even though I'd love to see it right away, it's probably going to take a little bit longer than I would like. I'm hoping that just after base launches, it'll probably be maybe summer, maybe fall, and that would suck. That would suck a lot. All right. So we're getting close to an hour and a half, and I think that's when I was planning on cutting the stream. So I'm going to answer a few more questions. Get your questions in, get your super chats in, get all the stuff that you want to do in. This has been a lot of fun. I'm definitely going to do more of these. So if I don't answer your question today, there's always another time to do it. Let's see, the Pelican. I turned on my controller and I didn't have to put the code to my controller on. It just went straight to Stadia. And yeah, I think if you have, if you go into your Stadia app and you click on one of your games that you own, which I'm going to try to do. No, I don't want to do controllers. I'm going to go to home. And if I go to Red Dead, where do I want to play? If I can see my Chromecast, like mine says Basement TV, if I can do that, when you pair your controller with the app, Google will know. Google knows, and it'll just start playing when you turn on your controller, which is great. Captain Skidmarks, I live right down the street from a data center in NC? What's NC? Forgive me, I'm Canadian, so I'm not sure what that one is. Nebraska? Is that what that is? And yeah, they literally have armed guards there. Yeah, I was... where was I? Can't remember the city I was in. I think it was maybe Indianapolis. And one of the vendors that we were... Or North Carolina. There you go. Thank you, William. When one of the vendors that we used, they had their data center in a data center that had a bunch of co-located equipment from Microsoft and Google and other people. So it was a large co-location center / data center. And when we went there, I've never seen more security in my entire life. This company had their own little baby room, like it was a tiny little baby room for all their servers. Meanwhile, they had like huge other areas that you couldn't even access. There was people with weapons, there was swipe doors, there was metal detectors, you name it. And it was high security to get into my vendor's small little room with the 20 servers that they had in this little mini data center closet. But you look at the other stuff and it was insane. I can't imagine what the security in a Google or Amazon or Microsoft data center would be like. It would be a million times what I saw, and what I saw was still pretty damn crazy. All right. Darren, thanks for the stream, Lloyd. Great to see more city content from you. Have a great night. Thanks, Darren. I'm loving the chance. It was really tough. November, I was on a family cruise. So I put 2 weeks of my life on hold, went on a family trip, because first time my kids have ever traveled on a plane and on a boat, and they loved it. So did a bunch of that stuff. and then got back, and then I had 4 days at work, and then I went on a business trip. So all of November was a complete write-off, and then December was me playing catch-up from all the stuff that I missed in November, plus getting stuff ready for the holidays and work and all this stuff. And then now it just feels like I'm back to normal. I have free time. I can do things. I don't have 10 things planned for when I get home anymore. So I'm happy that I'm going to be able to do a lot more content like this, whether it's open mics, whether it's game streams, whether it's other things, putting up the odd video every once in a while on the channel as well, when Bill doesn't jump over it, all on it right when he gets home from work 3 hours or 4 hours before I get home. That would be really, really great to be able to do more of those as well. So yeah, there's going to be way more content for me. So Captain Sidmarks, William, Darren, all the people that are chatting with us right now, all the super chatters. We had Joel Thompson, Eric Padden, Byron Daniel, To Lee to You became a new member, Greg Doyle, and Jason Lesko for your super chats. Appreciate all you awesome people. If it wasn't for you, the viewers, we wouldn't be creating this content. So it's pretty amazing that we have the support that we do from all the fine people like you folks. So anyway, that's gonna do it for me for tonight. Take it easy, everybody, and we'll talk to you next time here right on Stadiacast. Have a great rest of your evening.